Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost and welcome to my tactics school. This is going to be the tool I'm going to use to show you guys how to perform like basic stuff in Overwatch, because I've noticed quite recently a lot of people have been sending me messages in saying they get stuck on maps like Dorado, they get stuck on Bolskaya Industries, and I've seen this happen as well in competitive. And so what I want to do is sort of make a video which shows you how to break through these choke points, and it's very, very simple. A lot of Overwatch is just about pretty simple team execution. The worst thing you can do in Overwatch is split up as a team, and I'll show you with my beautiful tactics software that I've developed. It's not really any kind of software, it's just me moving pictures around, but it looks fancy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let me explain what's going on the screen right now. We've got the defending team in blue, or rather they've got like a blue haze over them. So we've got a Reinhardt, a Mei, Zarya, Lucio, McCree and Zen, and they are set up in what I would consider to be a fairly standard defensive position as you push up the payload. Now, if we look at the attacking team, so we've got our Reinhardt player here. Now, he's at the front. Now, obviously, he needs to be at the front, right? Because Reinhardt's got a big barrier, and he's going to prevent all of the damage that's going to come flying through this choke point. At this point here, you need to stay together as a team. McCree, he needs to be Reinhardt's best friend. He needs to be behind this barrier, firing through, doing as much damage as he possibly can. Now, just a quick thing on team composition. Your team could change, right? These are just some standard comps I've thrown together, but you will notice that Mei is in the defensive team. And the reason for that is because you need to be aware of Mei walls. I've seen a lot of teams that get stuck because they're frightened of Mei slicing them off or any kind of badness like that. But we'll get onto how to deal with that in a second. So obviously, as we move up like this, we've got Zarya. Zarya's going to want to be up here as well. She's going to want to be shielding the Reinhardt and pushing through the barrier with her own bubble on to take a little bit of charge there so she can pump out more damage. Then obviously, you've got your Lucio bringing up the rear with the Zenyatta. Again, the Zen is going to be fairly close to the McCree, doing damage through the shield. Now, you'll notice we've got a flanker here. We've got Tracer in the team. This is the only person who I would allow to just not be with the team at this moment in time. Right? She can go under there, round the side here and round the back, and then if she can get into this position here, she can harass the back line of the enemy. But here's the thing, guys, if she does it now, well, it's kind of pointless because your team are still at the front of this choke point. Tracer goes in, she tries to flank and she dies. We see this a lot. I see this a lot. Flankers going in way too quickly. In fact, I've also got a Genji, which I can show you. This is typically what happens with Genji. Genji will go around this way here, and behind this house here, there's a wall Genji can climb up and he can get into the back line. But he will just do this regardless of where his enemy team is. Don't do that. You have to execute plans at the same time. So let's just get rid of Genji. So what I want to happen here right now is I want this team that is on the attack to push through this choke point as fast as they can. They have a Mei, the enemy do, so they are going to use a Mei wall. But it doesn't really matter if you all move through at the same time. But the flanker, she needs to go in at the same time. So as your team is moving in, you don't need any voice comms, you don't need any crazy communication for this. If you're the Tracer player, you just need to watch what your team is doing. You'll know that they're going to make a push when everybody's by the choke point. As your Reinhardt starts to go in, your McCree follows him in, the Zarya goes in, the Zen and the Lucio probably a bit further up, but the Zen is sort of like this. They're starting to engage. Then the Tracer goes in. The Tracer needs to take out the backline, kill the supports, kill the Zen, kill the McCree. McCree's actually quite squishy. If Tracer can get in and kill him, that'll be fantastic. But the Zen would be the priority target right now. As this starts to unfold here, this is what you want, because you want to start killing the enemy team, because your spawn is much closer than theirs. So if you take out a Zenyatta, if Zen is dead, oh god, that means that you're a man up. If your Tracer then dies as a result of that, don't worry about that. That's fine. Tracer's dead, but you're still like your Tracer will get back into the fight much quicker. She's going to respawn. She's going to be coming back before the Zen is even anywhere to be seen, so she can be back in the fight again before he gets back. So it's totally worth it, but it has to be executed at the same time the push comes in. Now, let's just reset this back. Let me find Zenyatta wherever he's gone. Okay, so let's reset this back. Let's pull everybody back a little bit, because what will happen here is we will get Mei walled. So this is what we don't want to happen. In fact, before I show you the Mei wall, I'll show you a staggered approach, which is typically quite bad. So Reinhardt starts to go in, but the team are not supporting Reinhardt. Maybe McCree's decided to go over here for some reason. I don't know why he would do this, but maybe he does. You see, like, random things happen quite a lot. Maybe Tracer starts to flank. Zen is here. That's kind of okay, because the barrier is probably going to protect him. Zarya, and then they're sort of coming around like this. But in this position, the Reinhardt is exposed. He will get burnt down by the enemy team. If he dies, well, that's going to be bad, because I'm just going to move him off to the side, guys. But he's not actually in play now. So if he's dead, This means Zarya is now your main tank. She cannot absorb the damage Reinhardt can. You're going to die. She's probably going to get picked off next. Then he's going to die. McCree's not really doing anything over here, so, well, he may as well just not even be there. Chase is going to go in. The whole team's going to kill her. She's dead. And Lucio is probably going to run back to spawn. They've defended. So let's look at the other way that they could stop you pushing in, and that is with a Mei wall. So let's just reset the team back into a decent position for a push. I'll leave Tracer over to the side here. This is just indicating that she's going to push through and flank, and then we're sort of like moving through this way. Now, if you don't push fast enough, if you hesitate, this is the worst thing you can do in Overwatch in any situation, is hesitate. So if you go to push as Reinhardt and then stop here in the choke, and you stand there and your whole team are just sitting in the choke and you're not doing anything here, Mei, she's probably going to wall off your Reinhardt. So I don't actually have a graphic for a Mei wall, so we'll just use Mei's face. Imagine the face of Mei now is the wall. What she has done here is she has sectioned off the Reinhardt, and he is going to get destroyed. He's dead. So you've got to be aware that this is going to happen. And the way of dealing with this is you either push as a unit fast. This team has a Lucio, so Lucio can use speed boost, and you all rush in. In this case, maybe because you're rushed in so quick, when the Mei wall comes in, you've actually got 3 of your team behind it. Yeah, I know it's still 3v5 or even 6 because Mei's going to be there. But the Mei wall's not going to last forever. And you've got your tanky characters through there. And Tracer's coming around at the back at the same time. This is kind of okay. Because remember what I said. You're close to your spawn. It doesn't matter if you die. If you kill them, then that's a good trade. Worst thing you can do is just not kill them and sit around waiting, not doing anything, and just fighting them around this area. I see this happen a lot as well, where teams don't do anything. They just stand here like this and they just exchange blows. You are playing into the hands of the defense. You have to push through. So what I'm going to do now is change the image of the map to this. And I'm just going to move around my icons because we need to reset this. So this is when you get through, or like viewing it from the other side. Like you have to push through. So let's just set up the enemy team as such as I kind of would expect them to be. And then maybe a Lucio, like McCree would be, I don't know, around here somewhere. Zen would always kind of be at the back because he's kind of squishy. So at this point here, right, we're in the choke and we've pushed them back. What are we going to do? Well, we're not going to stay in the choke like I just said previously. You really don't want to do that. That is a catastrophically bad plan. This massive blob with Reinhardt needs to move. You've absolutely got to get into this area and start fighting them and taking them out. Don't stand in the choke. You will die. So I want you guys to take from this on Dorado is don't hesitate, and this applies to any choke, and I'm going to show you Volskaya Industries in a second, but do not hesitate in the chokes. You will get absolutely battered and you'll just die and it's pointless. But again, at this point here, you can kind of be a bit reckless. Like you can go in and try and take them on. You can maybe get your Reinhardt to just like charge in. It doesn't really matter. If he charges in now, McCree starts bringing up the rear. Zarya rushes in. McCree's not really bringing up the rear even. McCree's just starting to pick people off. Tracer's running around the back here. She's doing damage. Zen's discording people. Lucio's in the mess. This is what we want because that is in the hands of the attackers. You are causing panic and you're smashing their defenses because Overwatch is a simple game and it's just about attacking together as a unit. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to Volskaya Industries because this is another major culprit of this, and again we'll keep the teams as they are, and we're going to just, I guess, move people into positions where you kind of would expect them to be. In fact, let's just move the defensive team away to begin with, and we'll put your Reinhardt there. Okay. And then let's maybe put the enemy Reinhardt sort of here, Zarya there, Mei sort of around there somewhere, get ready to wall off. Yes, kind of like this. Okay, I don't know, maybe McCree would be there, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter as such. So, what we've got now is an attack on Volskaya Industries. Now, there is a flank position on this map, and again, if you're going to flank, which you can totally do this, right? And I probably should have highlighted this on Dorado as well. If you have a Tracer, I mean, she can blink, right? So Tracer can actually flank straight through the middle. If Tracer gets into like a position here, she can blink, 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 and she's in the side of this room here. Then they're going to have to come round to try and deal with the Tracer. If they don't, then Tracer can blink, 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 and she can sort of like run around to here, and then she can get onto the point. If Tracer's capturing the point, then that's going to draw the defenders back to try and deal with the Tracer. But anyway, just for the sake of this one, what I want to show you is the side flank, which everybody knows about. So, again, the Tracer player needs to wait. Do not just go in straight away while your team are not doing anything. You will die, and then you'll be a man down, and you'll probably die again. The Reinhardt player is going to dictate the push here, and the Reinhardt players generally do dictate pushes when it comes to choke point maps like this and Dorado, or even I guess, Temple of Anubis if you're rolling with a Reinhardt. I mean, you don't have to have a Reinhardt, but it makes it much easier and much easier to dictate what you're going to do. So the worst thing you can do is just stand here with your Reinhardt, because you're just going to get destroyed. This is such a small choke. Everybody here, you're going to get slammed. You're going to get Mei walls dropped in here, so the Reinhardt's going to be chopped off and he's going to be destroyed. You're going to have tons of damage piling in from McCree, from Zenyatta, from Zarya, because she's going to be supercharged, and it's just going to be a mess, and you're not going to get anywhere. What you need to do is push through with purpose at the same time. And I'm going to show you on the other side of Dorado, because this will make more sense, because this actually highlights where you attack, because a lot of people have problems attacking on Dorado, and I can understand that. So, not Dorado, sorry, we're on Volskaya Industries. If only I could get the map name right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's just put the team sort of like this. And let's put Tracer over here, because just imagine Tracer's flanking around at the same time we do this. So, the enemy team, if they were defending here, let's drop their Mei there, drop their Zarya sort of here. The Zen maybe at the back there. Let's just leave McCree there, because that's where it was for argument's sake. Alright, so in this position here, what we've got is the attacking team are pushing through, and this is great. What the attacking team need to do, though, is do not hesitate. Do not stay static like you are in this image. You've got to keep moving. This Reinhardt player will dictate what goes on. He can either do one of two things at this point. He can go into this room here, which I'm not a big fan of, because if you go into this room, the Reinhardt, well, he's in the room and he's not protecting his team. What he should do is stand there and leave the barrier up so the rest of the team can sort of, you know, filter through into the room. But if you go into this room and the enemy team are aware of this, they can box you into this room, and it's going to be pretty devastating for you. If they've got a Reaper, you can just go in there and start trashing you. It's Junkrat spams it, I don't know, make an ice wall one of the doors up. It's going to be bad, like real bad for you. Don't do that. Instead, what I prefer is the Reinhardt player to keep moving. He keeps moving into this position here. The whole team keeps moving with the Reinhardt player. We're getting into this position now, and we're starting to make waves. We're all moving in as a team. Just stay as a team. You don't. It's not difficult, Overwatch is. If this Zen player remains here while the rest of the team are moving in around this point here. In fact, let's say you're not even going to move in around this point. This here, I kind of like this engagement point here. So the Reinhardt can engage now. So once you get into this position here, Reinhardt's barrier is going to be taking a lot of damage. He starts to charge engage. Everybody goes in. We all start diving in onto them. Tracer's around the back. She's either capturing the point, or she blinks across to take out the McCree if he's still up there, or even harass the McCree, or she tries to get around into this point, or maybe she just jumps down and just goes straight into the fight. But we'll just leave her down there for now. Zenyatta moves around and starts attacking. This would be ideal. You are dictating what happens. Remember, your spawn, it's only over there, the spawn, so it doesn't really matter if you die. You're going to get back much quicker than the enemy team, unless, of course, they've got a Symmetra. So let's just reset this back again before we actually dive in and show you how this goes wrong, because this can go wrong quite a lot. So the Reinhardt player, he just sort of stands here. He doesn't really do anything. Their Reinhardt comes around here. Their Zarya starts moving in. Maybe not the Lucio as such, the Zen, the Mei. Mei like ice walls you potentially, which just blocks you off, or she ice walls this door so you've got nowhere to go, or she ice walls behind you so you can't escape. McCree's piling damage into you. Their Reinhardt charges in. Oh my god, you've got a very, very bad problem there, because you're going to get wrecked. You've not pushed through this point fast enough, and it's going to cost you as a team. Now, there are some other things that I'd like to talk about in this video, because one thing that really, really annoys me, and this does honestly cost games because it reduces the amount of times where you can actually form an attack, is when people do not die after your team has been destroyed. So, let's say Zarya is dead, Reinhardt's dead, none of the enemy team are dead, McCree is now dead. At this point, this push cannot possibly win. These three players, Zenyatta, Lucio, and the Tracer, cannot beat this enemy team. What you need to do is either disengage if you can, or die. Just don't be afraid of dying, right? Now let's say Lucio and Zen get killed. This is what I see happening a hell of a lot of the time, and it's generally with Tracer or Genji or even a Pharah can do this. Anybody who can flank. Everybody's dead, right? We're respawning back at the base. We're going to start moving forward, right? This Tracer is still not died. We're getting closer, and we're getting closer, we're getting closer, we're getting closer, we're getting closer. We're about to form another attack. Tracer's dead. Because Tracer didn't decide to die and resync the spawns. Now, what this means is the enemy team can just reset their position and, well, they've got a man up. So you don't really want to engage into this, because when people have got a man up advantage in Overwatch, you're probably going to lose, because it's such a team-orientated game. So you've got to wait. You've got to wait for this Tracer to respawn. Tracer respawns. Okay, now she's back. That's cost you maybe 20 seconds. That's a lot of time when it comes to Overwatch, and that's going to cost you in the long run, because it means less pushes on the enemy team. So you start to move in again, you know, and the Tracer moves around the back. the fights maybe starts to go, you know, you sort of move into this position, things have started going, you know, pretty well. You've got, like, maybe you pick off their Reinhardt. I don't know what happened to my voice there. You pick off their Reinhardt, you pick off their Mei, you lose a McCree, you lose a Zarya. But it's still 4v4 here. This is still in your advantage. Obviously, you wouldn't pull out here. You just start going in. Maybe your Reinhardt dies, their McCree dies, their Zarya dies, but then everybody else on your team is dead. And they still got these two guys left. Now, the thing with this is a different kind of situation. And again, this applies on Dorado. You will respawn faster. What you should do now, because you only know they've got two left, is you rush in. Everybody, as they respawn, they just come steaming in. You just bum rush the point because you know you're going to have the man advantage. At this point now, let's just say if they remain there, which they probably wouldn't, they'd probably pull off. But just for argument's sake, they remain there. You engage them. You're starting to smash them. You've got like a major advantage. And they're only just coming back now. They're only just coming back. You pick off the Lucio. Then they start to come back. But now suddenly you've got the advantage. Then you kill the McCree. They can maybe kill your Tracer. They kill your McCree. You kill their Mei. You kill their Reinhardt. You kill their Zen. You kill their Zarya. You take the point. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has helped because I found it very hard to visualize like what I wanted to talk about because there's no like replay tool in the game. There's no fancy observer tools just yet, so it's very difficult. And I think this is probably the easiest way of doing this. But in this video, I just wanted to show you how to break a point. And all you've got to do is stay together as a team and push as a team. And that means if you're playing a Tracer or a flanker, it means you have to still push as a team. It doesn't mean stay with the team. It means attack when the team attacks. Do not just go in on a one-man mission because you're going to die and then it's going to be a 5v6 and that's going to be bad for your team. I think it's generally easier to defend choke points than it is to attack them. Especially with characters like Mei coming into the fore where they can just shut the choke points down. With Mei, like I haven't really touched on this too much in this video, but you kind of do have to bait the wall out sometimes. Like sometimes it can be worth maybe even taking a Winston or even getting your Tracer or well maybe a Genji rather than a Tracer to dive in first so the wall comes up and then they dive back out, then you go in as a team. But none of these tactics are difficult. These are not like crazy high level tactics, and to be honest, no tactics in Overwatch really are. They just center around staying together as a team, attack as a team, die as a team. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa. This has been hopefully a really good video to help you guys out. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below because I can do more of these style of videos because there's loads of stuff I can talk about. And yeah, I've been Stylosa, guys. This is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and also follow me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/UnitLost. And I will catch you next time, guys. Toodaloo.